everyone, it's Max, and today I am here with my May TBR. Now, sorry if this lighting gets really bad. It is 5 p.m. where I am, and I just want to film this even though the lighting might get really weird. I've got my lighting kit here, and for some reason it's just, I feel like it is not doing a whole lot. But we're gonna see how this goes. This month, I really wanna focus on sequels, getting caught up on series, continuing series, and like finishing series, because in June and July, I'm going to be starting quite a few new big epic fantasy series. So I wanna get through some of those series that I am already reading. Can I say series more times? The first one that I wanna talk about is my audiobook of the month. It is also my Tamora Pierce book of the month, and that is Tricksters Queen. This is the last book in the Tricksters duology, which follows Alana's daughter while she is like kidnapped and taken and sold into slavery, and she makes a deal with a god to kind of like be a spy and help this one family stay alive. I did not really like the first one much. It's definitely my least favorite Tamora Pierce by far, but I am hoping to enjoy the sequel. All right, then the next book I'm going to talk about is my Seanan McGuire book of the month, and that is One Salt Sea. This I am very excited to read. I finished the fourth one somewhat recently and loved it. It's my favorite of the series so far, so I'm really hoping that this one just is even better. And this follows a half-fae named October Day, who at the beginning of the series is turned into a fish for 14 years. And when she wakes back up as a human, she kind of has to figure out her life again as a human, so half human, half fae, and then she becomes a private investigator for this lord of a certain fae realm. And so each book is like a different mystery. I call it like a female Dresden Files, and it's just so much better than the Dresden Files because of it. All right, the next two books I'm going to talk about are both from the same author, and one of them was because I didn't realize that the one that I read last month was the first book in a duology, but this is Exiles Valor, the sequel to Exiles Honor by Mercedes Lackey. I have her first two trilogies as compendiums, which I want to read, and so, but there are a couple prequel books that I want to get to. First, Exiles Honor followed, what's his name? Albric, who it was a like general in a war, but then he realized he had magic, and the country that he was fighting for was against magic, and when he's almost burnt at the stake, he escapes and gets to the country where magic is legal, and he helps them fight the war. The first one was okay. I definitely wish there was more world building and more character development, and the plot didn't set in until halfway through the book, so it was just kind of a little boring and then kind of a little random and confusing, so I am hoping to enjoy Exiles Valor more. And then the second Mercedes Lackey book I want to read is Take a Thief. I checked, and this is the only book it is not. There isn't a sequel. And this follows Skiff, and honestly, looks like it might follow a couple people. Honestly, I have not read the back at all. And the backs of these books tell, like, you have to pay attention, because if you don't know what the back says, it is like, you're lost, and it is super important. So I'm going to take my time to read this, but I do know that he is a character in the first Mercedes Lackey trilogy. So I am hoping to enjoy it. All right, the next book that I'm going to talk about is The Archive of the Forgotten by A.J. Hackwith. This follows a librarian in the library of unfinished books, and it is a kind of a realm in hell that she rules. And in the first book, what happens is books can sometimes take on like a persona, and they escape, and she has to go and find them. And so this happens, but while she is like on Earth, you know, on that plane, an angel smells the devil's Bible, and he thinks she has it. And that spurs on a whole crazy adventure. I really enjoyed the first one, The Library of the Unwritten, and I'm really excited to pick this up. It did end, like, I understand like why this is happening, where this is going, and I'm really pumped to pick it up. All right, the next book I'm also very excited about, because the first one really surprised me, and that is The Frozen Prince by Maxim M. Martineau. I really enjoyed Kingdom of the Exiles, which was the first book, and that I didn't really expect to like it as much as I did, but this takes place in a world where there are kind of, now this, I remember this being one question I had with the first book, was if like multiple people had different powers, but I know that there is like one country where people can control creatures, kind of like Pokemon almost. And our main character was exiled from there, and you don't know why, but she teams up with some assassins who were like hired to kill her. She says, if you don't kill me, I will find each of you like a beast that's like perfect for you. And our other main character is this guy, and he has a curse against him that anyone who loves him dies, I think, or anyone he loves dies, something like that. And I enjoyed the first one. I did think there was a little bit of insta-love and not a whole lot of character development, but I am excited to, again, pick up the sequel. I think I'm going to say that for like every book because I am. The next book I'm going to talk about is Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. I actually owned this before I owned Kings of the Wild. I got this for Christmas from my best friend, and I enjoyed Kings of the Wild. This kind of like feels like a D&D campaign, a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, where each of our main characters like follows like an archetype. Like there's a rogue, a bard, a sorcerer, a druid, like that sort of thing. And the first one, they all team up to save one of the guy's daughters that is fighting this like unwinnable war, and that's Bloody Rose, who I believe is this person here. And then honestly, I don't know what the sequel follows, but wouldn't tell you anyways because spoilers. But I did enjoy the first one. I was in a bit of a reading slump, and I think that's why I didn't love it as much as I like wish I had. I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars, which is not bad by any means, but I definitely wanted to love it. So I am hoping that because I'm definitely in a reading mood, I will enjoy this one more. Next book I'm gonna talk about, I'm excited but also very nervous about, and that is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where the Beast lives in like a different world, but Harper, who's our Belle, lives on Earth, and she subverts a attempted kidnapping, but she's kidnapped instead, taken to this other world where she has to spend a season with the Beast, and he's trying to make her fall in love with him. Now, I can't remember if at the end of the season she's like returned home or killed. Honestly, can't remember which one it is, but I really liked the first one. I did not like the second one as much, and I don't really like the direction of where this series is going, but it is only a trilogy, so once I read this, it will be done. It is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. Like, it is just over 400 pages. Like, just. So, I don't know. I'm a little hesitant and a little nervous, but I do hope I enjoy it. All right, the next book I'm going to talk about is probably my most exciting one, or the one that I'm most excited about. And that is Flamefall by Rosaria Munda. This is the sequel to Fireborn, which I loved. You know, looking back, I do wish I had put it on my favorite books of 2020 because I think it should have been on that list because I loved it so much. This takes place, I can't remember if it's like inspired by the Napoleonic Wars or like the Russian Revolution, or if it's just a revolution where there used to be only the like nobility could ride dragons, and they kind of held this country like totally in a totalitarian regime, but then they're overthrown, and our two main characters are two orphans, one of whom her whole family was killed by this nobility, and one of them is the son of a noble house, and one of the only remaining living descendants of the house, I guess. And they ride dragons, and the first book they are in like a dragon, like they're learning how to ride dragons, and they're competing to become like the best in the world, or there's some sort of like competition. It's been a minute, but I am just so excited for the sequel because I liked Fireborn so much, and I just love, my favorite like time where dragons are involved is when they're like pets or companions, not like the villains or just like there's dragons and you never actually meet one. I love when they're an actual like character, which they are in this, and I am just so excited. Definitely the one I am most excited about. All right, I lied when I said A Vow So Bold and Deadly was the one that I was most nervous about. The one that I'm most nervous about is definitely Venge War by Kevin J. Anderson, and that's because I have not read Spine of the Dragon yet. It is on my April TBR. I'm trying to read it either this week or next week, and I am just a little nervous because I did buy this and it was really just so I could get to like 10 books because I was at 9. And I was like, man, I want to be like at 10, like what a great number, which I could have done with something like Across the Green Grass Fields by Sean and McGuire, something super short, super easy. And instead I went with a 500+ page epic fantasy, the sequel to a book I haven't even read. This series is about like a world where a god created 2 species to kill this dragon, humans and another species, and humans were created to be this species' slave. Well, after they defeat the dragon and kill it, for some reason, the non-human species disappears. I don't know why. The back didn't say, and I haven't read it yet. But now it's thousands of years in the future, and the dragon and the other species have become a myth, but now the other species has shown up again and they want the humans to be their slaves. It is a predicted 5-star for me, but again, never read anything by Kevin J. Anderson, haven't read Spine of the Dragon, so I am very nervous about Venge War, but I am hoping that I love Spine of the Dragon, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. Anyways, all right, everyone, that is my May TBR. I hope you all enjoyed. I am so excited to read all of these books, and if you want to see how I feel about any of them, please keep a lookout for all of my vlogs. I vlog weekly, and I will see you soon with another video.